Well, I'm going to try my best to tell y'all a story that I think helps explain just a little bit of why Lem Parsons turned out the way he did. See, back when we was in junior high, there's a lady teacher there by the name of Miss Ludine Sullivan. And Miss Ludine Sullivan was, well, she's about the biggest woman I think I'd ever seen, and I ain't talking about fat. She looked like one of them American gladiators you see on the reruns at night. She's about 6'3" and weighed about 250 pounds. She was solid, lean muscle. In fact, Miss Ludine was she's the only person, to my knowledge, that ever won the weightlifting competition and the pie baking competition at the county fair at the same time. She won it 15 years in a row. I think she'd have kept on winning, but they decided to make her an honorary judge so that somebody else could have a chance to win that one. Anyhow, when we was in junior high there, she was the girls' PE class teacher. Well, in the morning anyway. In the afternoon, she put her dress on. She was a home economics teacher. Now, us boys had PE class in the afternoon. The girls had PE right before lunch so they could take showers and get all gussied up after they played their games. Every once in a while, one of the boys... Now, I like to point out that I never did participate, nor did I condone the behavior I'm about to talk about. Every once in a while, one of the boys would slip off out of study hall, run down there to the locker rooms. See, there's an old wooden door between the two locker rooms, boys and girls there. The custodian would use it to go back and forth to clean at night. It lacked about an inch touching the floor, and boys would get down there and try to look underneath that door, satisfy their pubescent curiosities. One day, old Lem decided it was his turn to get an education. He's going to go down there and see what he could see. He snuck off out of study hall, run down there to the locker room. He could hear the shower running. He got down on his hands and knees. About the time he did, the shower shut off. He commenced to looking underneath that door. Seen a pair of feet come walking out there. Then he seen a towel drop and hit the floor. About the time he thought things was going to get good, from behind him he heard, "Lem Parsons, what on God's green earth are you doing, boy?" It was Principal Kellerman. He'd seen Lem run down the hallway, and he went and followed him, caught him right in the act. Well, old Lem was so scared he jumped up, hit his head on the doorknob, and evidently that door wasn't real secure. Door went flying open. See, the 8th grade girls weren't down there that day. They was up in the health classroom talking to the ladies from the health department about their bodies or something. The only person in that shower that day was, well, it was Miss Ludine Sullivan. She was getting ready to go up the hallway and teach home ec. She turned around, saw Lem and Principal Kellerman standing there. According to Lem, time kind of stood still for a little bit. Finally, she said, "Well, Lem Parsons, are you going to shut that door, or are you going to stand there gawking at me all day?" Old Lem said he was petrified. He couldn't even move. He was just paralyzed with fear. Evidently, Principal Kellerman was paralyzed also. He didn't move either. Finally, Miss Ludine bent over and picked up her towel, wrapped it around her, walked over and slammed the door. Well, now, none of us boys knew what had gone on down there in that locker room. We was waiting in the lunchroom wanting to know where Lem was. Some of the boys wanted to know what he'd seen. Lem Lim come walking in the lunchroom, white as a sheet. One of our buddies said, Lim, what happened? What'd you see down there in the locker room? And Lim said, I don't want to talk about it. One of the other boys said, come on, Lim. If you've seen something, you've got to tell us. Lim said, I don't know what I saw. One thing's for sure. I don't want to ever see it again. Well, eventually Lim told us the details. Situation when we all got done laughing about it. I said, well, Lim, son, what Principal Kellerman say? Lim said, well, we walked up to his office. He said, Lim Parsons, you happy with the way things turned out in there this morning? I said, no, sir, I am not happy at all. He said, are you ever going to look underneath that door again? I said, no, sir, I swear I'll never look underneath that door again. He sat there and thought about it a minute, and finally he said, then Lim Parsons, I think you and I have both, I think we've both been punished enough already today. You run on down there to the cafeteria, see if you can work up enough appetite to eat something. Old Lim never looked underneath that door again.